1, 2.
Nice shirt,
Look, no, here's why we get mad at you. Let this be the start of the podcast, everyone. Here's why I will sometimes get mad at you. Unfairly on my part because I'm a psycho and you don't deserve half the shit I say to you. But you keep, a couple times I've given him, she goes, I don't know if you're mad at me. I'm a nice boy. You are a nice boy. But your memory is dog shit. So that's why I've gotten mad at you a couple times over the last week. One time you asked me, hey, we good for tomorrow? And I'm like, we talked at length 12 hours ago about this. And you're like, oh, I got really fucked up. I'm like, okay, cool. That's
the problem. So you're yes. You had the conversation with me when I'm very drunk. So then
no, you're sober when we have the conversation. You get drunk later and you forget the shit.
Oh no, when we were talking, I was pretty drunk. That
you didn't seem drunk. You seem normal.
I know, that's my skill. That's my skill is I don't seem drunk, but I am.
And then just 3 minutes ago, you forgot I had children.
I didn't forget you had children.
You said, why were you up early? I'm like, I'm up early.
I didn't say
every
why.
day.
I didn't say why you're up early. What I said was, oh, you up at 6:30 is what I said.
Yeah, I get up at 6:30 every day. But I've said that to you several times. I told Austin recently. We had this conversation. Remember Austin? I said I feel bad because Austin often sees me only when I'm exhausted and tired.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's a whole other side of Joe, a whole different version of me.
I've never seen Joe in the daylight.
You've never seen primetime Joe.
No,
You've never seen me like
Joe.
Primetime Joe.
I mean, I guess at Laugh Factory when I'm showing up at 7:30, I'm in a good state
Yeah, you
there.
look good. You got the haircut. You always have a new haircut. It baffles the staff.
Does it?
It really
baffles
does.
the staff.
Ask Greg and all of them. Every time you come in, we're like, whew,
Gooks?
look at that guy.
I get one haircut a month, and I'm there once a month, so it's
I know, and it baffles us.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, this guy's got a lot of money getting these haircuts.
Not really, dude. There's a lot of cheap haircut places you could go to. Anyhow, so let's start this thing for real now, okay?
Oh, I thought we started.
We kind of did, but like, keep all that in there.
Thanks for doing
We'll
this.
also have the
welcome.
Welcome to Let's Get Dumb, the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallon and comedian Jonah Jurkens, like to ask dumb questions, tell dumb stories, and just have a dumb old time with you. Jonah, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Joe. How are you?
I'm lying. I'm not great.
No,
but I'm okay.
You are not good.
No, I'm great. I'm very excited for the episode.
Me
because
too.
We have a wonderful guest.
One of my favorites.
Super hilarious comedian. Someone who I feel like I don't hang out with enough, but whenever I do, I'm very happy about it. The one and only Deanna Ortiz. How are you?
Deanna Ortiz.
Thanks. I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way. Just about you, not about Jonah.
Okay.
I hang out with Jonah.
Well, because when we do shows together, it's always so much fun.
Yeah.
We always have good talks, good hangs.
Yeah.
When I see you randomly on the street and I yell out my window.
Yes, I have been catcalled many times by Joe.
What does he say to you?
I was walking down the street and he pulls up in a minivan and he lowers the window and he goes, "Those are two of the best stand-up comedians in Chicago." And at first I was like, I'm being recognized. This is
Here it
incredible.
is.
And then I look and I was like, it's just Joe. Where are you going? Because it's always fun to see comics on the street, but then it is also fun to catcall them.
It is.
I mean, it wasn't even a catcall. I wouldn't even say
It was just positive. Yeah.
Because then the next time I saw you, I brought it up and you were like, I didn't want to say anything offensive, but I didn't know what to say. I thought you'd be like, "Hey, ladies." And then you were like, I'm just going to compliment them. And it was just it was perfect.
Well, the thing was, too, I was like about to turn right. So I was in the right lane of across the street and over. So you two really didn't know it was me. It took a while.
Yeah, but my ears are always open for someone trying to give me a
compliment.
compliment.
Yeah.
Always open.
I'm sorry, was that about me? It was. I knew it.
But it was weird that I looked and I was like, oh, okay. And then I looked again and I was like, oh, who's that guy in a minivan that's like hitting on me? And I was like, oh, it's Joe.
That's the thing too. So if like Jonah, if you ever have this where you're like, man, if I were closer and they could tell it was me, I could say something a little bit more crude or a little bit more ridiculous.
Totally.
Like if you guys were like right there at the corner, 12 feet away, I would have been like, yeah, what's up, sugar tits?
Yeah.
Like, you just to fuck around,
Because
obviously.
we'd recognize you instantly.
And then you knew, oh, it's not an actual catcall, it's our
Yeah.
friend fucking around.
This was over like maybe two lanes of traffic and then like also people walking around on Southport Avenue.
Yeah, it was risky on my end because if
It
you
was
don't
great.
recognize me and you're like, what the fuck, asshole? Everyone on the street's like, look at this piece of shit. They take their phone out and all of a
Write
sudden I'm
his
in trouble.
license plate number down.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That'd be scary.
That would be very scary. Dan, have you ever been catcalled and then realized that they were talking to somebody else?
Oh God.
And you're like, hey, fuck you. Oh, then you're kind of like, oh, I wanted you to be talking about me.
No. But I will say that I've seen someone get catcalled and I'm just like, I'm probably next.
So you're like, and here it comes.
Like, wow,
and here
I
it comes.
can't believe it.
Okay, so you're just like practicing. You're like, okay, sir, do not talk to me like that. No,
I'm
like that's too
angry.
aggressive.
I'm
It's too
already
aggressive.
angry. Yeah, well, I'll have like my headphones on and then I'll just be like, just keep your face down, just do whatever. And then he walks by and I'm like, oh, not anything from this construction worker.
I'm right here.
Okay, and I'm stunning.
You see how I walk.
Yes.
My hair just got done.
Thank you. Or I look like a complete thumb. And I'm just like, hello. And they're like, we're good, lady. Keep going.
Is catcalling a thing that still happens?
Yeah.
as a woman in Chicago?
Yeah.
Not in the typical construction site
No.
stereotype bullshit.
No,
right? Yeah.
not like that. I think it's more people passing each other on the street or like cars that don't have
Always
people
from
that
a
you know
car.
inside. Cars because it's a quick getaway.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
But like, what if the girl's like, yeah,
Oh,
and you're like,
yeah.
and you gotta like back
No,
up?
nothing. I mean,
Nothing.
That's never happened.
From a car? Or like where it worked? No.
No
Right?
way.
That can't work.
That can't be.
No.
That can't be a thing. It's like, how did you two meet? And it's like, oh my gosh. Well, I was walking and
Right.
he screamed, and at the stop sign, he picked me up.
Mm-hmm.
Like
He drove
you know,
past and I ran after him.
Yeah, he stopped
as
the
I
car.
should.
pulled open the side door, and I jumped right on in. Married
Right
for
on in.
25 years.
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
the people have gotten laid off that though. Not in that way that you two just set up,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking of more like it's LA and some guy has got a Corvette convertible top down.
Dude, yeah.
He pulls up alongside a few girls and just starts spitting some lines. And it's like, hey, you want to go to the Santa Monica Pier with me or some
Yeah.
shit? And they're like, fuck yeah, let's hop in.
I think that
In
would
like the late 80s.
yeah, absolutely. And
Well, it has
in
to be the 80s.
And in
That-
Pretty
yeah.
Woman.
And a Pretty Woman.
But like, maybe I'm being really insensitive, but like, is that I don't know if I would consider that catcalling and more of that someone picking somebody up.
That's a good point. Yeah, because
But
What's the-
I
what's
do
the
agree.
difference?
You're right. No, good call. What is the difference? Ask that question again, Jonah. Thank you.
Please.
What's the difference between catcalling and getting picked up?
Catcalling.
Did I do okay,
it's-
Joe?
Hey, you did
No, you ruined it by doing
I
that
know,
part.
I know,
And
I know.
Austin ruined it by
I know.
laughing.
I know.
There's no professional.
But
again.
Deanna,
on this
so what is the
podcast.
difference between catcalling
Joe
and
was talking. Do it
No,
again.
and Deanna? What is the difference? And Deanna, what is the difference between you're drinking? And Deanna, what is the difference between catcalling and getting picked up?
That's such a good question. It's a really beautiful way that you phrased it.
Thank you.
I think, okay, so catcalling is like quick, and it's not for that meaning of like, I'm going to hit on this, I'm going to meet this person and talk to this person. It's always like, something like sugar tits or something
Right.
like just quick to the point. That is it. And then you're on with your day. I think at least like kind of the image that I'm thinking of when Joe is describing is like some guy that's like charismatic and charming and,
Attractive.
hot to hell, rich, probably. That it's just a little bit different, and at least they're like have some type of goal to be like, I'm going to talk to this person and see if like we can go on a date to the Santa Monica Pier or whatever it may be. That seems a little bit more intentional. There's intent. There's no intent in catcalling.
Okay. Have you been picked up?
No way in hell.
Okay, that answer sounds like that's a yes.
No way.
No way.
Picked up from a
You
car
think I'm
driving
gonna get in
by?
a stranger's car?
No, I mean, like, also maybe just a guy, at a grocery store, right? He sees you, he comes up to you. You're getting picked up at a grocery store.
I've never gotten picked up.
The
at a
better
grocery
question
store.
would be, what's the weirdest place you've given a guy your phone number?
Sure.
And this is a question we would ask men too.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is, we, in
It
fact,
feels
we,
like
we have
we're-
given this.
We're
to-
asking dating
No,
questions
that's
to
okay.
our first female guest in a month.
It flowed very nicely because I was a victim of catcalling by Joe. No, it maybe was no. I think if we go back to what's the difference, you were trying to pick me up because there was intention. He was trying to get our
Right.
attention.
Right. And I'm glad that you're here, and this is why I brought you here, Joe. You need to say something to Deanna right now.
This isn't an intervention.
I'm sorry, I didn't take your feelings into consideration. It's
No.
it was 2023 at the time. It's a different world, and it's my sensitivity. It's hurt my friends and myself and my family, and it's embarrassing. I apologize, and I've made a donation to catcalling victims organization where they give bus passes to women who have been catcalled. That's what the whole organization's about. I've made that donation in your name.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
What's the
I spelled
organization?
your name wrong.
Okay.
But
It's a hard name to spell.
It's just a bunch of women
I
on a
wrote-
bus.
DEAA. Yeah,
You're like, they'll figure it out.
it's called Get on the Bus, bitch.
Up until the end, that was so heartfelt. I thought that was real. Actually, it feels like you've done
man.
that before.
I did what? Call a man out?
I was saying that to Joe, but I'm looking at you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I've never given a man my phone number
Never,
ever, I don't think.
ever.
Maybe once when I was like 21 at a club
Yeah.
in Chinatown. I met
So like 2 years ago?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I was at like a club in Chinatown, and my friend's brother was doing like a DJ set there, and I met some guy and he gave my number, and nothing ever came from it. But like, I don't know, it just feels. I don't ever give my number out. I give my Instagram out, but
Do you?
that nothing comes from that. Nothing ever comes from that. I feel like the phone number is personal. I mean, especially like a stranger at a bar. But Instagram, it feels a little bit more removed. To be like,
Yeah.
if you really wanted to see me, you'll follow me on. You can like message me on Instagram, but they never do.
They do.
So
Because they're just scared little bitches.
yeah,
Can we talk about this club in Chinatown?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
I've been to a club in Chinatown. Have you been to a club in
No,
Chinatown?
I never. I thought about that
I
too.
didn't know they had clubs in
I was like,
Chinatown.
God, you're so cool.
Doesn't that sound like such like a cool 21-year-old thing to do?
Yeah.
Like we took the red line down to Chinatown. I don't know where we were. Honestly, I have no idea. But it was just like a warehouse that they were having like a club at. And
Oh, like a pop-up club?
It was very like in a movie. And then
Whoa.
I just moved to the city, just turned 21. Me and my roommates, we went out flirting with guys. Like it was so fun. I couldn't tell you anything more about it if I tried.
Where are you from originally?
The suburbs.
Right. So you're like new girl in the city, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, we got this thing going on, and it's like this club at an abandoned warehouse. Like that's like a perfect like opening to like my new
totally.
city life. This is what everything
100%.
is.
It's
Yes.
the opening to a rom-com
Yeah,
and
every
a horror movie.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just don't know where it's gonna go.
No idea.
Which is great.
We should write that scene.
Right.
Right now.
Well, let's get dumb screenplay.
Let's get them. Yeah. Let's do that.
Oh.
Let's write it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's get dumb. Let's get killed because everybody dies at the end.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah. What the fuck? Give it away.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
It's a rom-com turned horror movie. So they meet, they fall in love, and then everybody dies.
What's your advice to go on what we're talking about? I'm
He hates
basically.
that idea.
Yeah, I did. I actually do. I think it's fucking stupid. Anyways, you're a guest and I love you, but Jesus Christ, that was terrible. So, Deanna, what's your advice if you were, because we kind of talked about this a few weeks ago, opposite, but what would be your advice to a woman if you wanted to like hit on a guy? If you ever hit on a guy, you're very
Oh my God,
funny.
I hit on
You're
guys
very
all the time.
Yeah. So what works for you?
I have no idea. I went to Ireland recently, and my goal was like, let's hit
go.
on dudes. And it was so it was a lot easier over there because I don't know. I don't think that they've ever seen anybody that looks like me. And everybody kept asking me if I was Brazilian.
Nice.
I was like,
There's a lot of
Hell
Brazilians
yeah.
in Ireland right now, actually.
yeah, I had no idea. They're like, you're Brazilian? And I was like, no, I'm Puerto Rican. And they're like,
You're like, see,
I'm just like, what? It feels so random because in Chicago I get Mexican. Like no one ever guesses what I am. To hit on a guy.
what were your moves in Ireland? Tell a story. Spill the
Just
tea, girl.
talking to them about the beer, honestly. Honestly, just like being that kind of like, I can't believe that I'm here. Like this is
So
crazy.
play dumb. So play like, oh my
Yeah.
God, like you know so much about the beer.
Yeah, or just like, if well, this is one example. So everything in Ireland is tap to pay, which like we have, but I don't think it's very much like we don't use it a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like anything at the bar, you like tap to pay on your phone or you tap to pay on your card, everything. And my phone, my card kept getting declined, even though I am rich, but something was happening. So I kept having to run it multiple times. And then this guy sitting next to me was like, God, I can't believe that the tap to pay hasn't made its way to America yet. And I was just like, oh, it has, but like my credit card's like kind of old and shitty. So like,
Right.
I haven't gotten it yet. And then that kind of started a conversation. I was just like, yeah, you guys, everything is tap to pay. And he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Visiting from where? And I was like, Chicago, blah, blah, blah. I think that was a normal entryway. I also did some shows out there, which was a lot
that's awesome.
easier.
Yeah.
A lot easier to meet guys that way. And it was easier for me because at least then I could like hang out with the comics. The back of a comedy show is the back of a comedy show. It doesn't matter what city you're
That's
in.
international, huh?
It was so crazy that I was just like, this really is the same wherever you go. So afterwards, like hanging out with the comics or like talking to the crowd made it a little bit easier to meet people because I definitely was nervous about how to be a single woman alone at a bar abroad and
Yeah.
talk to someone because that's not really what
You were by yourself?
I went by myself. I met with some friends, but for a couple nights I was alone, which was super fun. And I was very happy that I was able to explore by myself. But I don't really go out alone in Chicago. So
Right.
like, and if I am like talking to someone at a bar, I'm with my friends. So I can very much like talk and then like turn the conversation off and then be like, oh, what about blah, 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 whatever. So I think having gone to shows and gone up at shows made it a little bit easier for me to talk to audience members and be like, oh, how'd you like the show? Do you come here a lot? All that stuff. It made it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
to kind of break
Could I
the ice.
ask, how did the Irish audience, did they dig your American humor?
Oh my gosh.
Was there any kind of cultural barriers where you're like, oh,
Dude.
fuck?
Have you ever done shows in Ireland?
Not in Ireland, no.
Okay, you've done shows in England?
I did a show in Scotland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it was a mix of American and some Scots.
Okay.
So it was a mix of Scots and American.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Scots like me more than the Americans.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. At least that's the way it felt.
Because
I can tell you why.
Why?
go off, and then I'll tell you why.
That's why I just wanted to say that.
No, I think that the Americans are on vacation and they went to a comedy show and they did not want to hear another American.
Well, this was like
Because I was mad when I would meet other Americans on vacation. Like I went on a tour in Dublin, and the only other person on the tour was a girl from Chicago, and I was just like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?" Like,
did you feel like that when you were on your trip too? When you met another American? I felt like that too when I went to Australia.
Well, there was a group of Americans out there for the same thing as me when I was in Scotland back in October. So, I mean, they were all cool, but they're all from different parts of America. So we were just talking about that stuff. But when I was like in Edinburgh, like the castle had a lot of the Americans were there.
Really?
But when I was in, the city, Edinburgh, I didn't meet any Americans. It was all Scots.
They gotta be nice, right? I felt the same way. Like when I was in Australia,
Australian guy.
Yeah, when I was in Australia and I met you just meet like Americans, I was just like, I can fucking meet you in Illinois.
I don't want to meet you. Yeah.
And then also when I was in Italy like 2 Septembers ago, and every single time I was like, this fucking table sucks. These are the worst people I've ever met in my life. And I start listening, and I'm like, Americans. They're just loud. They're annoying. They think everybody.
Familiar accent.
Yeah, I'm like, why do I know that? Oh fuck, it's another American. They're the worst.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
But shows in Ireland were really fun. My first show that I did 4 shows out there. So the first show I talked to one of the other comics and I ran some like topics by him, and I was like, do you guys know about Costco? And do you know about the Girl Scouts? And he was like, yeah, we kind of have an idea. And I was like, okay, you have an idea, but it's not like there's no context behind it outside of like there's a lot of stuff at Costco and the Girl Scouts sell cookies, which wasn't really worth it for the joke. I did decide to do the jokes anyway just to see what would happen, because I was like, okay, if I burn these 2 jokes in 2 minutes, I have a 10-minute set and I have 3 other shows. And so it didn't really hit. And I just kind of acknowledged like, well, we tried, whatever, okay, we tried a Costco joke. You guys don't really know what Costco is. And one girl was like, we have IKEA. And I was like, that's different. But after I took those very specific American references out, everything else was super fun.
That's similar to, you wouldn't think it, but I did a show in Canada when I was pretty new on, like maybe it was a couple of years in. I was doing a show in Toronto, and I asked them like any little things.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we don't call it 7th grade, we call it grade 7. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't bother me much. Yeah. But then I asked him about like, what about like Captain Crunch cereal? And he's like, we don't really have that here, man. I'm like, really? Shit. Fuck. All right. Well, damn, I've been doing a joke about Captain Crunch. All right. And then there was like some other fast food reference I had where they're like, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, there's like little things in comedy that you don't, and even the Captain Crunch joke was about getting a great deal, because I bought Captain Crunch because they're 2 for $5. I'm like, what a, the rest of it's bullshit, but I could just change the cereal out for that. Yeah. Although Captain Crunch is a more funny cereal.
Yeah.
But yeah, those little things like that where you're just like, damn it. All right.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you get to the point where you're like, is it worth it to change out the name Captain Crunch because it is so funny to something else that would be understandable to these Canadian audiences, but it doesn't have the same rhythm to it. It's just a big mind fuck. And I kept thinking about that, and I was like, I'm just going to cut it. Like, who cares? But God, there was some other thing that you said that reminded me.
And you performed just in Dublin?
Yeah, I only stayed in Dublin because I was like, I didn't feel confident enough to take a train or take a bus anywhere else. Although I did want to go to Galway.
Galway.
Thank you. I honestly, Joe,
it's a thing on the podcast. Don't start it. Don't start this.
I'm gonna say that honestly, people have been, my friends in Dublin were saying I needed to fix how I was saying it, and I was trying to be so conscious of it, and then I just totally forgot, and you called me out on it.
Yeah. It's
all good.
That's gonna happen here.
And I wanted to go to Derry, I wanted to go to Kilkenny, like I wanted to go to all these places, but I didn't feel confident enough to like travel on my own because I had just gotten to Dublin by myself, and now they're like, take a train. I'm like, I don't want to take a train. Right. And I definitely couldn't drive. I definitely didn't feel comfortable enough to drive. So I was like, when I come back with different, like with my friends, I'll go on a big thing, and we'll go to God knows where.
Yeah.
And
I just pulled a dad move on Jonah. I'm sorry. I don't know if you noticed that.
No.
Jonah was swaying, and I just
anyway.
finally made me go, you got to stop doing that, bud.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Also got a little.
I'm not used to being in the middle. The people listening to the podcast, I'm sitting in the middle. Usually I'm to the left, and I like to
trying to split his time between both of us.
Yeah, and I like to make eye contact, so it's like really hard for me to like. So I have to twist a lot.
I'll straight up say it. I feel like you two have hung out more than you and I, so I thought like you being here made more sense to me.
Oh yeah.
I wanted you to lead a little bit more.
Can you lead, please?
Also, my back was killing me.
Your back still killing you?
My back's still bothering me. I don't know.
Oh no, do you get massages?
I had a bad day. No, I've never had a professional massage in my life. I need to get one.
You get one. That's life changing.
Oh, it is, and it's. I don't use massages as like luxury. It is purely maintenance. Like to go and get like just let someone beat you the fuck up for an hour. You will feel so much better. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like Joe. You got to go, especially go to like a chiropractic office that also does like therapeutic
Massages.
massage. Yes. Is that where you go, Deanna?
I get a Groupon, so whatever is cheapest.
You still use Groupon?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, that's
Get
the
a
most
massage for
Puerto
fucking-
Rican thing I've ever heard in my own.
Oh, why is it Puerto Rican? Because we love to save money.
Yeah, that's
Talk
why.
to Captain Crunch over here.
I was just kidding.
Two
Jesus.
for $5 is two for $5. Okay.
I was kidding.
I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm Brazilian.
There you go.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. But you can get really good deals for massages on Groupon.
You,
And
you have to go. It's so important. Like it's insane.
I hear the
when
word
you go.
chiropractic and I go,
Why?
it's just the massage.
You don't believe in it?
You don't need to see the chiropractor.
no, I feel like I should believe in them, but I've heard enough to make me think these people know what they're doing.
When I went,
Santa Claus, you don't believe in chiropractors?
They
Yeah.
are
No.
real.
They're
It's not like
doctors.
Reiki.
Like,
Why do real doctors like raise their nose at them? You know what I mean?
I will say though, have you ever gone to a chiropractor? Anybody in here?
no, I need to
I've-
really bad. I have a hyperextended back for 5 years.
Oh
It's
my
catching
yeah,
me.
he
God.
cracks the shit out of his back. It's
Oh,
disgusting.
dude.
My back won't crack. I can't even get it to crack.
I
'Cause
can
you're
crack that.
so knotted
You're
up.
so knotted up. That's
I
why your
am.
You
back
gotta get
hurts.
some just one just
What do you tip them? What do you tip of a masseuse?
20%.
20%?
Yeah.
So $120. All right, that's not bad.
But then sometimes if I find a deal on Groupon for like $60, then I'll tip on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's 12 for everyone doing the math.
You
at
tip.
home.
No, you always tip on what the price.
But
would
you're rich. Okay?
Huh?
You're rich.
No, I'm rich at heart because I tip when you're like you always tip on the original price. That's what you're supposed to do, because they are getting discounted already. So, anyways, okay.
You guys
I'm
think
being
it's-
judged by
is
two
it
people now.
morally acceptable?
I wasn't judging you. I agree with you.
Do
You're
what?
supposed
Thank you.
to do that.
You're
yeah.
supposed to do that. Yeah.
If you're at a masseuse and they like they offer you.
You want to do the dick thing now?
No.
We want the whole episode.
We want the
We
whole
We want the whole
episode,
episode without one mention of a dick.
I'm not
No.
mentioning that. I'm mentioning.
You're alluding to it.
Yes. But
Happy
I'm not
ending?
mentioning it. I just thought it'd be interesting. You guys would have interesting thoughts on that.
You know what I think is really interesting is that if someone is like at a reputable massage parlor or whatever, and someone with a penis gets an erection that they maybe can't control. I don't know. I don't have a penis, so I don't know how to control one. But like, that must be so uncomfortable because like that person is not going to jerk you off, but you have
come
to
on, jerk
acknowledge
me off.
it,
Yeah.
and you're just like, I'm sorry, I guess. Like,
Right.
what
That's a
happened?
good question.
Because
Like,
Well, they don't have to
You
acknowledge
did
it. They
this.
pretend like it didn't happen, I imagine.
maybe, yeah. But then do the
Well, it
person
depends
laying
if
on
they're
the
massaging,
bed?
because you sometimes you're on your back when you get massaged, right?
Yes.
Which is weird because everyone in human history, like if you're in a couple, even if you're not in a couple, you massage shoulders, you massage back, right? How often do you say?
Oh,
"Let me
dude, bro, you
massage
get
your
knots in
front"?
here,
Dude.
all over your chest.
Oh, but then once
dude.
you get a massage, like when they get in here, I'm just like, I didn't realize this part of my body was tense.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can
Until-
massage female breasts, but like male breasts, yeah, I'm talking about. I don't know, but yeah, I guess you get knots
Yeah.
up there too. I just
Yeah, and
never
then they'll
had
go
one
on your
before.
legs.
'Cause
Like,
that's where you
Yeah.
don't want to get the boner
Hands.
because you can't hide it then.
Yes.
If you're laying on your stomach,
if
you
you
hide that
if you're on
boner.
your back.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that I'm wondering, like, okay, obviously it must be the protocol for people to just ignore it and hopefully it'll go away. But like, what that poor person that's just like,
I'd be worried they were looking at it and judging it. Like, is it big enough for them?
oh my god,
That's a you
Are they
problem.
avoiding eye contact because it's embarrassing looking, or
Yeah.
is it because they're being professional?
Sure.
Well, the towel would be over you though, so
Yeah.
I know, but that like
You can
I
still
almost
tell-
wanna
you can
take
tell
it
how
off
big
so they
someone's
can see
dick is
it
over a
relax.
towel.
You're like,
I'm
hey,
thinking
hey,
they're
hey,
out there
let me
laying
show
on
you,
their
let me show
stomach.
you.
Oh, I'm saying that. Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
they're laying on
yeah.
their stomach.
Yeah. See, Joe's problem is when he gets a massage, he's laying on his stomach. He goes, "I'm hard right now." It's Joe's too honest. That's his problem. He goes,
He's too honest.
This whole thing started with me never getting a
I
professional
know.
massage before.
I knew that was
That
a
was
detail.
funny though.
Yeah.
But I remember
It'd
thinking,
be worth
damn,
it.
if I
It'd
just,
be really
I know, I
worth it.
thought
If
that
you
it'd be
too.
worth it just so Jonah's joke could come to life.
But
know.
also, you can tell them like,
"Come to life." You know how he spelled
See?
that. You know how he spelled
you
that.
guys you guys are perverted.
I know. This
We're
podcast is
going
kind of
to
gross.
jail.
Yeah.
I need to get one though. You're right.
I'm trying to give my friends good advice on their health.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like,
I agree with you. I'm the one who went with you. I said he needs. You know what we should do now?
it's so funny because when he says that he's a good boy, he has his hands in his lap like this, and he's just like, did I do anything bad? I don't even know.
I'm just talking about people getting hand jobs. That's
I'm
all.
just a little guy.
I'm just a little guy.
I got here today.
I'm just a sweet little boy talking about hand jobs and
Sorry,
dicks.
fucker.
Well, Austin brought this
Whoa.
question up.
Can you
What
not
were you?
swear?
You can. No, we can
You
swear
say
all
the
you
fuck
want.
you want. Yeah.
Austin, you were asking if it was morally correct to get a hand job. What the fuck?
No, like, I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, would you? Like, if it was free?
No, I wouldn't.
Do you think that works for both genders though?
Yeah, do women get offered? Did any of
Yeah.
your female friends ever say like, "Oh yeah, the guy offered to finger me," or the woman offered to?
No, but the first massage that
It's also who wants to get fingered still?
Oh, so many people.
plenty of people
So
do.
many people. want
Yeah,
to
but like I
finger
mean,
them.
just fingered.
Do you
You
know,
know what I
the
mean?
amount of guys who don't eat girls out and finger people in this economy is crazy?
Say it louder for people in the back.
It's a it's
Honestly,
an epidemic
that is
of
true.
Men who don't eat people out or even touch them. It's
Yes,
crazy, man.
it is crazy.
If you're a guy and you eat people out and you finger them, you're gonna make it and you're gonna find a wife.
I don't like
in a
yeah.
week.
I don't like you
That's
saying
not new
eat
till
people out.
recently,
I don't
though.
know.
My
I don't
entire-
like
What do
when
you
you
want
say
me to
that.
say? Oral? I mean,
I don't
Go
like it
down.
either. Like the way that you're laying down right now, you're making eye contact with me.
Extra
I'm
cozy.
not on camera. You can't say
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
there's no camera on him.
I 100% agree with you. It is crazy the people that I have to be like, you have to do this. Like, listen, there's just something that you have to do, and it's these things.
Is that really a
But
thing?
then also there is an epidemic, and this is and thank you for having me on the podcast, because there is an epidemic in the world. It's not just in Chicago. Men can't come. The men are not coming. They are unable to come.
I've heard of this problem.
It's fucking crazy. It
I-
is crazy.
Yeah, because there's an epidemic of
hold
coke
on.
use out there.
There's two things going on with that. So would you say there's an epidemic for what?
A lot more people are using coke.
These guys aren't using coke.
It's not coke.
These guys aren't using coke. They
not
just
coke.
cannot come.
It's not coke. It's two things. And some of our listeners, at least I imagine the type of people who listen to this podcast religiously, it's dudes are watching too much porn,
Yeah.
and a lot of different medications people are on nowadays.
Yes.
Pretty much.
No, I'm
The
a
reason
fucking
the
bitch.
reason I didn't want to go on anxiety medication.
Yeah.
Because you
Remember,
'cause you
I
wanna
did a
come.
joke about it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I said my therapist was like, yeah, I think you could benefit from this one. I was like, well, what are the side effects? And it's like, well, you could have trouble getting an erection and then also trouble ejaculating. And I'm like, those two things would give me more anxiety. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem in those areas. So why would I add that to my docket? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I remembered a friend of ours who told me he was on that stuff. And then I'm like, oh, you were juicing, my man. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because I remember some women being like, oh, yeah, he could last a long time in bed.
Yeah.
And then we found out later, it's like, it was the anxiety medication that was making him last as long as it was.
Would you hate if your doctor was a little too honest? Where you asked that and then they just said, it's going to be harder for you to get hard and bust nuts. Like where you're just like, Doc, what are we doing here? Like,
Say it
I know
in
you're kind
normal
of coming down to my level here,
Yeah.
but
So if my
busting
therapist
nuts?
sounded like you, is what you're asking?
yeah. What if I was your
what
therapist?
would you do?
Bro? Yeah. Could
What would
It's
you
gonna be
do
hard to
if
come,
you're-
and you know how I'm spelling.
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
It'd be yeah. Could you imagine? I'm your therapist, and I'm like, dude, that sounds like a you problem, bro,
Yeah.
and just walk away from you.
No, it's fucking nuts. And I do agree. It's porn and, it could be a bunch of other things, but it is just insane. It is insane. Men cannot come. It is crazy. There's an epidemic, and we need to save your money for the cat callers and add it and put it to the men, I guess.
So I gotta imagine you.
The help men come.
Help man come.
Help
And
man
I'm
come.
trying.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Come
in. I'm
fun.
talking out. Okay. Bringing out all the tricks.
Help
and they cannot
men
come.
come.
Well, let me
Otherwise,
ask you this then,
I'm
because
screaming into it.
is this thing on?
Yeah, I don't think
not.
we should clip out a thing of Deanna looking into the camera saying, "You know what? I'm gonna help men come." I don't think that's good. Follow my Instagram.
You out
Yeah, and her being like, "People don't Instagram me enough. I will help you
Yeah,
come."
this will help Deanna
I
go viral.
sold it into the camera. I was
For a
just like,
reason.
I'm trying to, for 10 cents a day, you can help a man
For 10
ejaculate.
yeah.
The price of a cup of coffee.
What would
that
you
should
say would
we
be
should-
what would help? What's the fix
I honestly,
other than things that Joe said?
I have no idea.
Anal.
Well, no, I wanted to back
That's
up.
so
If
funny.
I could
I'm gonna
backtrack
open
for a
I
split
could.
second,
Yeah,
though.
you could.
I actually like when people open it near the microphone.
I like when you-
Sometimes.
I
That's
like
my
when-
favorite
wanna-
sounds in the world.
I didn't want to
Oh, I
make.
hate
I didn't
it.
want
You
to
hate
have
that
it be-
sound?
Yeah, I
No, we
hate
brought
it.
attention to it, so it's gonna stay.
I love the sound of
Yeah,
a
it has
beer
to have
opening.
anal.
So you must have a consensus for both yourself, your female friends.
Yep.
The gay community is probably not having this problem. Or
They are
maybe-
not. No, because
No.
my friends who are gay, when I tell them, I'm like, went home with this guy, couldn't come. They're just like, but you came, didn't you? And I'm like, no, I just left. And they're like, I
Wait,
can't
and
wrap
you're
my
not
head
coming
around
either?
this. No, because people don't finger and go down on each other.
Yeah.
But if they're yeah. But if okay, so
So are
I'm
they
sorry
not
to sound
getting
naive
hard,
here.
or are they not come? Well, we got to get some more details. I'm sorry, Jonah.
It's a mix
Hold
of
the thought
both.
though. Don't forget it.
No,
don't
you're
forget.
following. You're following.
My two dads.
You're following my thought.
They're so concerned.
So they're not
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
hard.
Wait,
and
our
they're not
daughter's not coming.
or just one
This
of-
can't happen.
We're progressive dads. Okay.
My daughter's gonna come.
We want you to have safe
Finger
sex.
this
Yeah,
bitch,
yeah, yeah.
all right?
and
Are you making my
pleasurable
daughter
sex.
come or not?
Yeah, man.
One time, real quick, when I first met my my girlfriend Laura's dad, we're staying at their place, and then he like puts our like stuff downstairs, and I'm walking with him. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm cool like that. You can just stay down here with my daughter, or whatever. And in my head, I was like, do you want me to fuck your daughter? That's what it sounds like. He sounds like he's like, dude, if you want to bust a nut inside my daughter tonight, you
No,
can fucking
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead,
no
brother. Yeah. Get up on that fine ass poo nanny. You got it.
You jump to the end.
Well, the way he said it was, and if you know this man, he probably was thinking that.
That's so.
Anyways, Joe.
Sorry, you.
I was gonna ask, are the dudes hard and they're not coming, or they're not even getting hard?
Sometimes it's a mix of both. Sometimes it's, one and not the other. Sometimes it's none at all.
And this isn't just you. You've talked to your other friends.
Yes.
It'd be sad if you're like, no,
I've
it's
heard
just
the
me.
same
I'm not.
Oh no, dude.
You heard the same thing.
Oh, because
Wow.
Yeah.
that is
I have a
exactly the
theory.
thing.
What's your theory?
What is your theory?
So I have one of the things I also think is an epidemic. There's an epidemic of women who refuse to use condoms. I'm telling you, the last
I don't think that's
people
Really?
that I
Hold on.
slept
Let
Hold on.
them cook.
The last 6 people I slept with, I've counted, have been like, yeah, you don't have to use one, or have been like trying to get it going without using one. And I have to
Dude.
be like, whoa. And I'm like, I think it's because that guys can't come. Because guys always use the excuse of like, oh, I'm not good with condoms.
Yeah.
I'm not good with condoms.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of women nowadays are just like, I guess we're just not using condoms. Like, it's a problem. It's a real problem.
Wow.
We need to get the teachers back in talking.
Yeah.
Like,
We need to bring the bananas
We
out.
gotta get it going.
Dude,
I think they're connected.
that honestly, I don't disagree.
But guys, come on. Condoms? What are we in our 20s now?
Yeah.
The hell's going on? We're
God, you
adults.
sound like them.
Yeah.
What are we
Also in
doing?
our 20s.
Huh? What? You said something. No, okay.
No, it is me and other people that I've talked to, because that is such a mind fuck of it happens multiple times. And then like, I don't know, I feel like I'm very blessed to have such like an open friend group where we can talk about stuff like this. But for other people and other women, that's just like, oh, it must be me, because it happens so frequently that they're like, this must be me. I must not be, desirable or whatever. But I'm just like, I'm hot as hell. It's your lucky fucking day when Deanna Ortiz takes you home with you. And then, and then I'm just like, after all this work, nothing. And then talk to my friends, and they're like, it's a whole thing. There's like, it's an epidemic.
Next time there's a struggle, just say,
Do you know how fucking lucky you are,
Yeah.
bitch?
you're like, what's wrong, step bro? And then you're fine.
My God, that's
Good
so
joke.
good.
Very good.
That's really
Yeah.
fucking funny. I
Yeah.
should.
How does it end? Can I ask how it ends? Sorry. Like, how does that end? Does it just like, all right, we did our best? and then you
Austin,
shake
Austin,
hands?
back down a little bit, buddy.
No, I think-
Austin's like, hey, with as much detail as possible, tell me exactly how it ends.
He knows I'm injured and he's picking up my slack. I appreciate
Yeah,
that,
no,
Austin.
like, I genuinely, that would be so weird to be like, all right, we did, goodbye. Like,
Yeah,
what
honestly, it is just kind of like okay, well, if this isn't gonna happen, like, you gotta go, or I'm gonna
Oh, wow.
leave. No,
Is there a frustration on their end? Do you feel like, or sadness?
I don't know. For me,
Embarrassment?
I feel some
I'd be sad if I
embarrassment
couldn't
for
confidence.
them. Sometimes, but then other times I'm just like, I mean, we tried. You have to. I mean, I do understand that it is hard, especially to be with a new person, to like do all of these things. Because if it is just like a one night stand, it's like maybe it might not happen. Everything could be going right, and then maybe just one person isn't going to finish. I get that. So you have to meet them in the middle and be like, hey, we tried our best and we really gave it all we got. And at the end of the night, you got to go.
Yeah.
You can't stay here. And I'm definitely not staying here. So we got to go.
Do you want to look at the camera and dox these people and tell them and say exactly who they were and their names? Okay.
They're probably half the lineup of the
like-
shows we do.
They're probably, yeah, that's probably.
I'm not implying you're hooking up with male comedians. Sorry.
no.
No, I think
But
it's
it sounds like a
illegal. I think
very
it's
comedian
sin.
thing.
It's a sin to hook up with male comedians.
Run the light.
It's a sin.
No, I'll tell you guys after.
not
You
running
know
the
these
light.
comedians are running the
They're not
light.
even making it
into
to the light,
pussy.
apparently.
What?
No, because
They're not even making it to the light.
That's what I'm saying. Oh.
Get it? Wouldn't the light be like the
good.
the crescendo,
Yeah.
the fuck yeah part?
Yeah.
No, well, so I.
then they're also just like, oh, well, we can like, I can do other stuff about it. I was like, yeah, the whole reason that you're here is kind of for one thing.
they ever-
that
do they
the
ever
only
take-
reason that I invited you in is for this one thing. I'm not
But do
gonna,
they offer to you out at that point, and then you're just totally
sometimes, and
turned
I'm
off?
just like, I don't know. It just feels like, well,
You
I'm
gonna say no at that time?
yeah, there's a bunch of other things that go into it.
see.
If they're just like, let me just do this. And I'm like, it's not going to be as easy as you think it is. There's a bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, I was kind of just hoping for like this specific thing. And I'm not trying to order a la carte right now. What were you going to say, Austin? Sorry.
Has anyone ever been like texted you or said like, well, maybe we can have a rematch sometime? Or
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
They haven't used that phrase, have they? Rematch?
No, but
I've seen those messages.
a
From
rematch.
Deanna's?
No.
You're going through Deanna's phone?
Hey, how did you get into my cell phone?
No, like some girls have showed me like, yeah, look what this guy texted me. I was like, rematch. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, yeah, we're gonna try to make each other come. I went, that's wild.
I think
That's
that
crazy.
instead of like
wild.
wording it like that, a lot of people are like, well, I'll stay here and then we can try again in the morning. is kind of like the thing that they're like, well, I'll sleep over and then we can do this like when I'm sober or whatever. Because they're going drink for drink with me and then suddenly they're
Yeah,
like,
that's a hard
wait,
thing.
I know.
One thing I know, that is a hard thing to do with you.
Hello?
Brazilian woman.
Yeah.
So I get that a lot, but not a lot of people sliding into my DMs that's just like, hey, round 2, which is actually round 1, by the way. Not a lot of that. And I think if somebody did message me like that, it would give me instant ick. So yeah.
What are other instant icks for you?
So many things. A man tying his shoes. I'm sorry. I know you guys got to tie them, but like just
Like a man tying his shoes.
tying his shoes.
Like just, is he doing like, okay, bunny ear? Is he doing that?
Yeah.
Or is he like actually?
it does. It could be both. It could
Really?
be whatever. And I know that I'm bad. I'm
So
sorry.
what's
By the
worse
way.
than-
Real quick,
What's-
she's gonna make the list. There's someone has a list out there of things men can't do because the women have shared these random things, and some of them are bizarre.
They're
Tying the
very
shoes
weird.
is a little up
Okay,
there.
I went on a date with a guy.
Can I ask you one question before you get
Sorry.
into
Okay,
this?
yeah.
Just one
and then I'll
question.
jump
One
into the
question.
list. Yeah.
So you're telling me that tying his shoes ickier
For me.
than if I was like, sure, let me get my shoes off, and I was like, and I had Velcro on my shoes.
No, they're both ick.
Okay. So you like a guy in flats.
No, you
at
want
it
you just don't want to see him tie his
Do
shoes.
it. Tie your shoes.
But
Tie
just
your
don't do it in
shoes.
front of
Do it in
Deanna.
private.
Okay.
Do it in private. Lock
All right.
the doors.
So you're like I like a good man in flip flops.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Is
what
what
I
I
want.
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like just sliding in and on and off.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So penny loafers.
and I know that you need to tie your shoes. I know that. I can't help it.
I don't want to see it.
We were taught
It's
as
like I know
children
that
to
you
tie our
shit.
shoes.
I don't want to see you shit. Like I know you shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it away.
What else is on the list? The list of ick. Let's go.
Tripping.
Oh really?
Man, trip is so
That's a
bad.
pretty dorky thing.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I was on a date with a guy and he was like so hot. And we were talking for a long time and I was super excited to go out with him. And then we went out on this date. And then for the first time, because none of his pictures had him smiling in it, and he was just like brooding and he was like super cool. And then
Bad teeth.
He never texted me back. No, he when he smiled for the first time, I was like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like so. I was like, oh, don't laugh. Golly, you're supposed to be cool.
Was it like bad teeth or just a bad smile?
Just a bad smile.
But the thing is, he's aware of it. That's why he didn't have any pictures of him smiling. So he knew.
Yeah,
He knew.
he knew. Tripping big, certain men smiling. I'm sorry. I know. Cancel me. I mean, it's disgusting. I know it is.
No, it's
and
not.
If someone
No,
said
it's
this about
not.
me, I'd be very upset.
No.
Tying their shoes. I can't really think of anything else right now. Those are like the main. That was like that's the first example that I was like, ugh. Those two are big ones.
Well, wait staff. How they treat wait staff.
Oh, that's huge.
Huge, right?
Yeah, but I feel like that's
That's an
something-
obvious one.
That's an obvious
Yeah,
one.
that's just
Tying
like,
the shoe, I've never heard anyone say.
Never heard that.
Watching a man tie his shoes drives me up. You know what I mean? I've never heard anyone say that before.
yeah, or like I don't know, like the cadence and the way that some people speak. I think that a lot of people will try and be like, oh, da 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 da. Like if they're trying to like impart wisdom on me, or like, oh, don't you know about the 17th century revival? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like,
hate
why are you
those.
talking like you're in a news anchor?
You're hanging out with a lot of Yale students from
Yeah.
1977 or some
Cute.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're wearing a
Yeah,
sailor
wait
shirt.
staff is I mean, that's big.
Yeah.
That's number one. You gotta be nice to the server. You gotta be like make eye contact with the server is huge. Like if somebody drops something off, don't just say like, oh thanks, like, oh, you look at them, acknowledge, whatever.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, of course. Huge.
You gotta pay for my drinks, you gotta tip 20%.
Yeah. Are you looking? You always looking how much they tip?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
I mean, we know that you don't tip.
Yeah, I don't tip. I think it's illegal. No, I don't, but I am very aware of like if he gets the first round, I'm getting the second round. So at least then I know that the server is like getting taken care of.
Right.
So I think that is I don't know how I would be able to look and make it seem nonchalant.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I see like what's that? I've
You think?
seen girls like look at like will look specifically like no shame
Oh.
about like which is good. They should, you know, like that's a big telling on how much you care about people and how much you think.
I feel
you
like
don't
that's
think so?
very much like I'm
No, I
judging
think
you right
tipping
now.
is wildly important, and I'm a big fan of generous tipping. I think people should be generous tippers. I think the looking says that you don't trust the person you went on a
That's
date
it.
with.
It feels
And I
icky,
feel like
but
you
I don't
should
know why,
have-
and that's
you should
it.
trust your judgment enough to think
Yeah.
based off of my small interactions with this guy.
To me, it's like past experiences with other people.
I've never been with anyone who's a bad tipper before.
Really?
So I don't really know.
Yeah.
I've been on dates with people that are like shitheads to servers.
I've
You're just
seen
like,
that.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I'm
I've seen
awkward. I feel
that.
awkward now. I hate this.
I can't stand that. I've seen that where it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Or like when I'm on a date and then like the server walks away and they try and like bitch about the server to me and I'm like, oh, it's us against you right now. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
never you and me against the server. Like,
Okay.
no.
Important question.
Okay.
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 You're with a guy,
Sure.
right? You're on a date.
Okay.
You get up,
Okay.
right? You love the date. Cute,
Having a good
charming,
time.
having a
Great.
great time.
Okay.
Tips well, everything.
I'm so
You
excited.
get up. Yeah.
Something new.
Oh my
You
God.
get up. You get up. You get up.
Okay.
Right? And then he starts walking. You notice he hasn't yet shoes untied. What do you do? Because what will happen if he doesn't tie it?
If we're
might
leaving?
trip. If you're leaving.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I think I would. Okay, so if we are leaving and we're going to a second location,
Right.
I'm having a great time. I
Great time.
notice the shoe is untied. I might just go, shoe's untied.
Then you turn your back?
Yeah.
Or you walk ahead a little bit?
Pull my phone out. Do something else.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it.
I'll get in the Uber while you do that.
Uh,
Because I don't want to see you do that.
I would never say that.
By the
Yeah.
way, I sorry, I just wrote the pilot episode for Deanna's pilot.
Oh.
It's her own sitcom.
Oh, great.
So it's all about this woman. It opens with her out with her friends complaining about how guys can't come anymore,
Mm-hmm.
right? She finally meets the right dude, played by you, right?
Nice.
No,
Let's
let's not
try
do it. We'll
some
try
other-
some other
let's try some
chances. You guys
other
are friends.
options.
We'll do someone else. played by Zac Efron. I don't know.
Okay.
Preferably someone who's not 52.
Oh shit, dude,
I'm
he is not
from that. He's
52.
not 52.
Okay, you wish you looked this good when you're
Yeah.
No, I do. I wish I had
47.
those shoulders.
How old? What? Sorry,
How old are you?
he's not. He's
47?
38.
47 is
I
so
just
young
turned
for the
41.
And he looks
Happy
amazing.
birthday.
41.
Thank you.
Hey,
birthday,
happy
Jonah.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
But like, so let's hear the rest of the episode real
Okay,
quick. Sorry,
okay.
you get writing credit because you got me going with this. Although it's all the shit you just said.
Well,
I like how
I'm
he goes.
starring and directing. So
Yeah,
it's
I know.
okay.
I like. He goes. Guess what? I like how Joe's like, hey, you know what? Perfect is your show. I'm gonna write it, and
Sure.
that's all gonna be about me.
Well, you're writing this show, and then I'm going to write
Yeah.
the rom-com
And don't worry, Jonah will have a
thriller.
co-writing edit on it.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, so I'm on a date with Jonah.
So well, it opens up
Quote, unquote,
with you know you're
Jonah.
talking
You're
about
a
all this
handsome,
stuff.
very nice man.
Yeah,
You get set up on a date with a dude,
okay,
right? And this dude actually delivers,
great,
right? Like best sex you've ever had, amazing.
great, love it.
And
Okay.
you're like
Comes
this
in a
is great.
timely manner.
And now he wants to take you to breakfast in the morning,
Okay.
and you're just like, this is unbelievable. And as that's happening, you notice, oh, his shoe's untied, and you're like, oh, I don't need to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And but then he fucking trips. He bends down to tie it, trips, falls down the stairs, and dies.
Whoa.
That's the first episode.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What do you think?
and then it's called the show's called Life's a Trip.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Or it can be called the ick.
The ick. Yeah.
And I text my friends like
The
this
icky
fucking
trip.
loser, and then he falls down this.
Real
Yeah.
quick, how much does that ruin it for you?
Not a lot. I don't know. I feel like if it's like you said, if it's like a great guy and we're really vibing and like we just like totally hit it off, it's not that big of a deal.
He trips once a week.
He just
Once a week he
so
falls.
like a clumsy
He
guy.
is Jack Tripper from Three's Company. That's what he's doing. He is falling
That's
constantly.
hard. That's hard. I don't know. Maybe we'd have a conversation. If he was like, I need to be your boyfriend, and I'd be like, we need to talk about lifting our feet when we walk.
He says, take me as I am.
No.
Yeah.
I am but a man who falls.
At my heart of hearts, I am but a man who falls. I don't know.
Joe, you're on fire today.
It's
No, I'm not. My back is on fire.
my back is.
We gotta talk about your posture, buddy.
This is the only way it feels okay.
I am like, I honestly don't think I would. I don't know. It's hard to say because the selfish part of me is like, dump him, find somebody else. But the other part is like, who is this hypothetical man? I should give him a chance.
What do you think his name is?
I don't know. Probably something really hot. He probably has an accent, you know.
Xavier.
Ooh,
That's
that
a
could
fun
be
name,
fun.
right?
But you don't pronounce the X,
With
by
it-
the way.
Xavier?
It's Xavier. You don't pronounce the X.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but guess what? Xavier does.
I would
Oh,
never.
What about Bad
Ick.
Bunny?
Egg. Okay.
What?
What about Bad Bunny?
If I go on a date with Bad Bunny and his shoes are untied and he trips, we are making it work.
Uh-huh.
If he trips, I trip with him. I will teach him how to tie his shoes. I will buy him whatever
What if Bad
fucking
Bunny
shoes he
never
wants.
came?
Don't do this to me.
I feel like you love that because then you're just forever having sex with Bad Bunny. You know what I mean? There's no end
If
to
he has
it.
a
You
huge
just
dog.
keep going.
There's no way he doesn't have a huge dick. That's absolutely. If I was dating Bad Bunny and he never he couldn't come and he never got hard, we would really make it work. I'd really try.
Yeah.
I'd really try.
Because it's the not getting hard part that's upsetting more than the not coming part, I believe.
Yeah, right? That would be, right?
Sure. Yeah.
He's big enough flaccid though, so it don't matter.
Yeah, you can just
You can't tell.
fold that thing in, shove it in
Yeah.
there.
He's so big when he gets hard, it gets smaller.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
It's
course
gonna
you
make all three of you upset.
He doesn't know who Bad Bunny
If
is.
Bad Bunny walked in this room right now, I wouldn't know who the fuck Bad
No,
Bunny
I knew
was.
that. No.
No, I know the
that's
name. I know
That's
the
the
name.
most...
Kind of weird though. You would be like,
Was he the guy? He did wrestling once.
He's a wrestler, yeah.
He wears like glasses. He's got the weird like buns, and
Yeah,
he's got a
he has,
vest
like-
on.
Seems
short,
You
though.
would be
Is he
like, yeah,
short?
that's somebody.
He has
No.
braids
Okay.
sometimes.
Why don't I just
5'11"
Google
or
this?
6'1".
Yeah.
He's one of the
That's
two
not
that
short.
Yeah.
He looks short though. I don't know why.
Are you really? You think?
I thought
feels
he was
short.
on wrestling. I thought.
But
he
I think
was
because I think he's surrounded by people that are like
6'5".
6'4". Yeah,
Okay.
6'5". Yeah.
Yeah. I always, in my mind, I picture him not very tall, but like average height.
He's insanely athletic too.
He's so beautiful. And
He
he's
is
so
a very
cool.
good-looking man.
He is. He's
Uh-huh.
so
He's got
beautiful.
stamina.
I bet he does. It's all that vitamin D in Puerto Rico, I tell you.
The vitamin
They're
D.
eating fresh fish in that island all day, every day.
5'11", it says.
Beautiful. Perfect height for a man.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect height for a Puerto Rican man. They're small sometimes.
Do I need to get you a towel? No. Okay.
No, I'll be okay.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We are in the basement. There's a sub pump
You know,
down here.
perfect height for a
we're
man is
okay.
great because Jonah lies and says he's 5'11", so that's great that he's
I
telling
tell
us
you,
he's the
Jonah.
perfect
I'm
height.
5'9.5". I don't think I'm 5'11". I wish I was 5'11". I'd give anything to be 5'11". I'd kill Joe.
How tall are you in heels?
How tall am I in heels? 5'11". That's what I write. Yeah,
How tall are
5'11".
you, Joe?
6'1".
Oh, congrats.
You're
Thank you.
6'1".
Austin?
Yeah.
Good for you.
6'1" and
stand up.
3/4 legally.
Nice. Good. Legally?
Yes.
Hey.
I can't say 6'2" or I'll get chastised. So I'm 6'1" and 3/4.
Nice.
How tall are you, bitch?
Honestly,
I don't know. I don't know.
dude,
What's the
honestly,
bitch about?
okay, so I always say I'm 5'6.5", but I think I'm shrinking.
Really?
I really do. I don't know. I think I'm 5'6" now.
Okay.
It's like my friends who I've known for my entire life, who I'm like always like, I'm taller than her. I'm
It's the
taller
weight
than
of the
her.
world. These guys not coming for
I
you.
guess.
That's what it
And
is.
then like I saw her the other day and I was like, you're so fucking tall. Like, how did you get up there? And I was like, am I shrinking? What's going on? I don't have enough protein in my diet because these men aren't going.
Hello. Guys, that's for the
Hello.
podcast. That's how you end that right there.
Did you ever give your theory of why you think these dudes aren't coming? And that'd be a great way to wrap this all up. I
It's
feel
the
like
exact
tonight.
same reason that Austin said. I think people watch a lot of porn. And I
I
think that
brought
they
that
are.
up first.
That was Joe. Joe
Oh,
brought that point up.
sorry,
He brought the
okay.
condom point up.
So let me ask you this. What about it is why people aren't coming?
Is that they're so used to finishing in a certain way.
Okay.
And that like the disconnect of like I'm alone and I'm doing this right now and now there's somebody with me and I'm doing this. I think that is what they can't get over.
I think it's also like everybody's anxiety. Everybody's anxiety is so high. Sex is with somebody new is anxious.
Yes.
It's anxiety producing.
Yeah.
But sometimes that makes people come too quickly, though.
True. Yeah.
That used to be the complaint I'd heard from
Joe, what
female
makes you
friends.
come quick? Sorry, I wanted to ask
massage?
you seriously.
Colonoscopies.
Colonoscopy.
He was asleep during that.
Jesus,
God,
man.
you don't
Yeah.
listen. God, he doesn't
Yeah, did they
listen.
put you asleep?
Last week's episode was just recapping my colonoscopy 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we had a map and everything. It was insane.
Oh, congrats.
Mhm. Yeah, up his quiverly colon.
I mean, it's fine. They put you to sleep. You wake up. You're like, let's
They give
go.
you fentanyl. That
They give you
shit's
fentanyl.
Loves
dope.
that.
Oh, I don't know what they gave me.
You had
Did
one
you-
too?
you want
I
to?
did. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah. I love getting put under. Oh God.
do
I
you
love
really?
it.
I was
We
first
talked
time
about
for
this.
me, and
It's
I
so
loved it.
scary.
Okay, when you
Yeah.
woke up,
I didn't love it until it happened, and then once it happens, you
yeah,
want to do it all the
yeah,
time.
yes. When you woke up, did you feel like I burst into tears? Like the second that I woke up, I just could not stop crying. It was
Happy
so
tears or
surreal.
sad tears?
No,
Just tears.
indifferent tears. Like
Whoa.
I just couldn't stop crying.
No, I felt like I was still dreaming.
I didn't
And
even
it took
feel,
me a
like,
long
loopy
time
or
to start. I felt very loopy
Okay.
because I remember being like, did he tell me this? Did I wake up at one point during it? I think I woke up during it. I shouldn't have been up, but I was up. That was just all these
Oh,
weird things. I think I was
yeah.
just dreaming,
Yeah.
you know? And then all of a sudden I had like graham crackers and cookies and stuff. I'm like, how did this get here?
Totally.
Did I ask for this?
Yeah.
Who gave me this? It was like stuff like that where
Okay.
it's just very weird. It was like
Yeah.
Jonah's a joke about he doesn't black out, he Swiss cheeses because there's like
Yes.
holes in the night, you know? That's how I kind of felt coming out of it.
That's how I feel too, coming out of it. But I do remember waking up and just like immediately started crying. And then I talked to the doctor and I was like still in tears. And I was just like, I really don't know what's going on. I don't feel sad in any way. I'm just like, I couldn't stop crying. And then the doctor called with like results later on. And I apologized again for crying. And she was like, it happens all the time. And she was
Really?
like, people don't talk about it, but you act so weird when you come out of anesthesia. People cry, people do this, people do a bunch of other things. And I was like, I had no idea.
I said this last week on the podcast. My dad grabbed my grandmother's tit And he came out of the he was just like he's like, come here, sugar, and then grabbed her tit.
Did he think she was somebody else?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's just
God.
how he was. Yeah.
Or is that just who? That's
What if I was like, no, he knew his mom. He like knew. He knew. Yeah, he knew.
That's just our guy. Man.
That's why I don't want to get put under. I want to grab my mom's. Oh, she's dead now. I can't anyways. But I guess that would be great if I grabbed my mom's tit.
She'll be back.
Yeah.
What I wouldn't give to grab my
What I wouldn't
mom's
give to
tit.
feel a heartbeat through my mom's breast.
Imagine resurrected from the dead and you get groped by your only child.
I know. It'd be
Or
sweet.
woman.
It'd be sick as hell, dude. Fucking killer, dude.
How many times have you been put under?
As on maybe 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scary.
Could we ask the other times or is it too personal?
No, that's okay. I had a colonoscopy, and then I also donated my eggs, and so I was put under for that. And then
Oh, so you're a good person.
yeah, I'm kind of an angel. And also, if anybody's listening and they're just like, I want to donate my eggs or I want to freeze my eggs, advocate for yourself and tell the doctors that they need to put you under, because a lot of times they'll just do like a twilight sleep, which is when you're like kind of into it and kind of out of it. Knock the fuck out. And if they don't say it, go to somebody else, because
So painful?
it is when you are awake. It is so painful. I've read horror stories. So, but I'm very lucky that I got put to sleep. And then I woke up and I was like, let's go. Where's the bagel? And then I got my wisdom teeth out. So that was the first time.
Yeah.
But I'm really good at it. I think it's
You're
really
re- yeah,
great
you're really good
medicine.
at it?
I'm really
Yeah,
good at being
that's like a
put to
skill you
sleep.
have,
It's
yeah.
really great. I love it. That's it. Those are the 3 times.
Perfect. I like how you're like, sorry, I don't have more.
Yeah.
That's how
it sounds like you
Right,
had
the
more to
first
say.
time. I had a surgery done, and they did not just like whatever like the normal anesthesia is. They did like all body anesthesia, and that was trippy.
Really?
I spent a night in the hospital, and then I just was like sleeping and then awake and then sleeping and then awake, and I just felt so crazy. But then I would like wake up and like Friends would be on TV, and then I'd go to sleep, and then I wake up, my mom's over here, and then I wake up and then my mom's leaving, but like, Friends is still on TV, and I was like, did 20 minutes go by or did 3 hours go by? I have no
Right.
idea. Coming out of like general, it must have been local, whatever the long one is.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a trip. It took like at least 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Me too.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have nightmares about this story.
No, that's good. Modern medicine is amazing.
God, I'm not going to come for weeks. The story.
I came during that story.
Yeah, no, I know. I could
that was-
taste it from here.
Thank you, by the way, for sharing all this with
Yeah.
us. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's always nice to have a
Yeah.
guest that's a little more open.
Oh yeah.
I can't get anything out of Jonah.
No,
like,
no,
close.
I'm a fucking closed book with this
dick
idiot.
jokes.
Me too. We're both
Yeah.
closed books.
Mhm.
We're not yelling and screaming at each other.
Yeah.
I had an agenda to push, and I did it.
You got the word out. You
I
got the
did.
word out.
Lots
so
of different
fellas,
things.
stop watching so much porn.
Yeah.
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 How
that's
much
really
porn
what
do you
it is.
watch? I'm kidding.
And
I'm done with it now. I'll tell you that much.
stop watching so much porn and listen to the person that you're having sex with. Like, just like listen to the person. Figure out what they're trying. If they're this person that you're with, they're trying to tell you something, and you got to keep your ear to the ground, and you'll figure it out.
Ear to the heartbeat too.
This episode is called Joe and Jonah Listen to a Woman.
Oh,
There's a couple times
not
where-
women. A woman.
Oh, a woman,
Because
yeah.
Let's not get carried
Yeah.
away now.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny. You guys go, aha, okay,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
Oh, that does make sense. Oh, I see things now.
I should get a massage.
I should get a massage. Joe, you need to get a massage.
I do.
It's
I'll
it's
send
gonna
you some
fix your back.
recommendations.
Men need to come for
Yeah.
Deanna and Joe needs a massage. Those
Yeah.
are the 2 takeaways.
What do you need, Jonah?
What's your
I need to
thing?
watch That Happened for both of you guys. Sorry.
You sick fuck, dude. You
In the same room. That's what I want. That's all I need. I'm a bit of a
pervert.
watcher. I just want to tie my shoe. That's all I want to do.
See, in episode 2, she meets a guy who needs a back rub, and he goes, "I'll make you a deal." In this universe, in this MCU, I'm single, so it works out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife's listening. So you give me a really good back rub, and then I come for you. But then I trip, and you're like, "I can't just do it. I can't do it."
that.
The fuck out.
You're
Okay,
tripping. Everyone has to trip at the end of each episode, so that way people are like, "This isn't the one for
I
her."
think that you are very hung up because it's like, okay, I give you a massage. You said I come for you, and I'm just
No,
like,
I will-
I don't want to just see a man.
Like, here's the thing. As I said that, I knew I said it wrong.
I don't want that at all.
I didn't know how to say it because it felt uncomfortable to say we come together. And spelled COME, like the song, the Beatles song, Come Together.
Yeah.
We just listen to the song Come Together. That's all we do.
So funny. That's all we do.
Yeah.
Well, it's a movie, so it's all actors. So, again, you probably won't get cast, but I'm happy that you're writing it. Happy to collab.
Thank you.
Deanna, this has been absolutely incredible. I'm so happy that
It's so
you've
fun.
been
Thank
here.
you.
Where can they see you?
Everywhere. You can see me.
What do you got coming up?
So you can find all my shows on my Instagram at Deanna Ortiz _. When does it get published?
A week from now? A week from today?
A week from today.
February 22nd.
Week from Wednesday.
Or 21st, I mean.
Yes.
Okay. So follow my Instagram because there's some really exciting stuff coming out tomorrow that I cannot talk about right now. But follow my Instagram and all my shows are listed on there.
You have a great podcast?
Yeah, I have a podcast called Crushes. It's kind of on a hiatus right now, but we're coming back where we just play Hot or Just Tall all day, every day about hot and tall celebrities. And then I also run an audio series about true crime that you can listen to on Hatch Plus, and it's called It's Crime for Bed.
Nice.
Thanks.
Very cool.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the podcast.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And we also should plug again. We are going to be in Arizona at Mic Drop Mania March 21st or March 22nd and March 23rd.
Together forever.
March 22nd, March 23rd. So spread the word if you're going to be out there. I'll also be in Los Angeles March 1st, headlining Lyric Hyperion. So if you are in LA, please come on out to that. It'd be great to see you. And that's that. Jonah, you got things besides Blackout Diaries and other stuff?
Yeah, if you're in Chicago every Friday, we have a great show called Blackout Diaries, which is a drinking storytelling show. And then also I run a really fun show called Brews and Bad Movies, where we have comedians on and we play really terrible movies. It's the first Thursday every month. March and April already sold out. So
That's why I'm like, why are you plugging this?
if you're going to be in Chicago in May, come. Like the tickets
cool.
are
Yeah,
flying
there
off
you
the
go.
door,
All
but
right,
tickets
good
are
point.
available for May, June, and July.
Good point.
Awesome.
Good job.
That's it.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.